Hello,
He's Oliver,
she's Lucy,
and you're listening to Anyway Movies,
the podcast of film fanatics and movie maniacs.
the podcast of discussions, debates, and occasional distractions as we talk about all things cinema.
If you like what you hear, be sure to like our Facebook page and follow us on podcasting platforms.
Big shout out to my sister Molly for creating the logo and images for our podcast. Give her a follow on Instagram at _Molly_Joanne_.
Now that's all out of the way, dim the lights, turn the projector on, and let's start the episode.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 21st episode of Anyway Movies.
Oh,
What?
our baby's 21 years old. Wait, what?
That makes sense. So yeah, this is the 21st episode of our podcast, which is amazing. Thank you so much for listening this far. And if you aren't, then I guess you're not listening to this. So I hope you're having a good life without us.
That's impossible.
So today we have, I think this is the episode that I am most excited about.
Oh, I genuinely cannot wait. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be so interesting to see what's going to come up.
We are going to be doing a modern recasting of 1939's The Wizard of Oz.
Now, this isn't us trying to say that the original casting was rubbish or anything like that. We stand by the original casting so much. But this is just a fun little thing we wanted to try and just see what we think would be the perfect cast or our perfect cast for a modern version, or just if it was being released today rather than in 1930s.
And also, just in case you're listening to this in 10 or 20 years, this is recorded on the 30th of April 2021. So at this moment in time, if The Wizard of Oz was to have a remake this year, these are the actors that we would choose. Obviously, in 10 or 20 years, those choices would change.
I mean, in 20 years, there probably will be a new version of The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, there probably will be in 20 years. I mean, they're making a Wicked movie, right? So that's technically a Wizard of Oz remake. But
Technically.
kind of not.
I guess if you stretched it.
If you stretched it, then yeah. So how this is going to work is basically me and Oliver have come up with separate cast lists. And what we're going to do is we're going to name each of our choices for each role. And then we're going to band together to make the ultimate 2021 Wizard of Oz cast using both of our cast lists. The best choices from each.
I'm very intrigued by what choices you have made because we discussed about this just before we recorded, and we both have seemingly decided to go a little bit adventurous with some of our casting choices. So I'm excited to see who you've picked.
I'm excited to see who you've picked, actually. Oh, this is going to be so fun. I can't wait.
I guess with that being said, shall we begin?
We shall. I'm guessing we're starting with the main role herself, Miss Dorothy Gale.
Okay, you go first. Who have you picked for your Dorothy?
I had a toss-up between two, but my heart said this actress, and that actress is Sadie Sink. If you don't know who Sadie Sink is, she plays the role of Maxine in Stranger Things. She also started out on Broadway, so she has a very good voice. So she's already musically gifted. Yeah, I just think that she would be the perfect Dorothy in my head. And I also think she's a very strong actress as well. Ever since she started Stranger Things in season 2, I thought that she was one of the strongest out of the kids. I think she would bring the strength of Dorothy and also the whimsy. I think she would do that really well.
Oh, that's a really good choice. I was like so confident in my choice, but now you've said that, I'm kind of shaky. So that's a brilliant choice. And like Maxine is the best character in Stranger Things. My Dorothy I've picked is actually Ariana Grande.
Right.
Well, I think she's 27, but she looks very young for her age. Not that
Mm-hmm.
27 is old. She started off in musical theatre and
Yeah.
performed. I don't know if she ever went on Broadway, but she performed off Broadway.
Yeah, she was in 13 the musical, I think, on Broadway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so she's got a musical theatre background. She's done
Mm-hmm.
acting for screen before.
Yes, victorious.
Obviously, we all know she can sing. She's very good at playing youthful roles and characters, and I feel like she could be a good Dorothy. But I think the answer, as much as I do love the idea of Ariana Grande as Dorothy, I think Sadie is the way to go.
Also, I think with Ariana, I think the problem is that she's might be a bit too famous. Like the whole charm with Judy Garland's Dorothy was the fact that at the time she wasn't very well known, so we felt more towards her as a character because she was Dorothy to us. Whereas I feel like that if Ariana was cast, I'm sure that she would do an insane job, and the arguments that you have brought forward are very valid. But I think people would see her as Ariana rather than Dorothy.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that Sadie probably will have that same problem as well with her being Maxine in Stranger Things, but I think, well, she's not as famous as Ariana Grande, so it is difficult because I do think that both will do really well. But if you're happy going with Sadie, then I'll
Oh,
more than happy to back it up.
I am ecstatic to have Sadie as our Dorothy. Okay, so the next character on the list is Auntie M.
Yes, the protective motherly figure to Dorothy's character.
We
Do
all
you
love
want to
her.
start this one?
Okay, I am very confident in my choice.
Okay.
Glenn Close.
Oh my god. Why didn't I think of that?
I know. So, for those who don't know, she's been in a couple of movies, but my personal favourite role of her is when she did Cruella de Vil in the live action 101 Dalmatians and 102 Dalmatians, the sequel. She was brilliant, and I really hope she, in some form, is in the new Cruella movie.
Oh, imagine.
Like, just a cameo. Maybe it could flash forward at the end to an older Cruella, and it's Glenn Close.
Oh, perfect.
But going back to The Wizard of Oz, I just think
Yeah.
I just think she's one of those people who I feel like can take on any kind of role. She's been in the industry for so long and she's definitely established herself in more ways than one. But when it comes to characters like Auntie M, I haven't personally seen her play as many. So I think it'd be quite interesting to play a character like that. But also, just Glenn Close. Imagine Glenn Close as Sadie's auntie.
That would be so good. I quite like that vision.
So who's yours?
So I have chosen Kathy Bates.
Ooh,
So to anybody who doesn't know who Kathy Bates is, one, where have you been? So some of the roles that you might know, she played Annie in Misery, Molly Brown in Titanic. She has done so much, and she is a very varied, a very versatile actress. She can do anything, and I'm kind of basing this choice off of her performance in Titanic because I know you've not seen the film, Oliver, but she's very motherly, very caring, and it screams Auntie M to me. It's the perfect time for her to play Auntie M, I think. I reckon I can visualize her in the role very well.
I do have to say, Kathy Bates would be a very good choice. I am not mad at it by any stretch of the imagination, but I think I'm going to stick by Glenn Close for this one.
Yeah, I think I am as well. The minute you said it, I was like, yeah, I've got that in my head now.
Awesome. Two down, more to go.
The next character we are casting is Glinda the Good Witch. And stay with me on this.
Okay.
I am going to cast Renee Zellweger.
You know something? I
What?
haven't I haven't picked her, but she was in my shortlist for Glinda.
Was she? No, because I just think that she exudes this positive energy, this bubbliness, and the sort of charm that came with Glinda's character. I think that she would do it so well. And I don't know, I can just imagine her floating in the bubble with the massive gown, looking like a goddess. I don't
Mm,
know. I really picture Renee in this role. Like the first person that came to mind when thinking of Glinda was Renee. My other
mm.
choice was Michelle Williams as well, but of course she's already played Glinda in Oz the Great and Powerful, so I didn't think it was fair giving her the role again. So I went with Renee. I just think that not only is she an amazing actress, but like I said before, she just has this aura that's very Glinda about her, and I think she's perfect.
Oh, I do like that one. Ooh, this is shaping up to be quite a competition, I must say.
Oh,
Okay, my Glinda is Kristen Bell.
right, yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about positivity and bright energy. Look no further than Kristen Bell, my friend. I feel like with Kristen Bell, you could take Glinda in a couple of different ways. You could do her in the same way as the original or Oz the Great and Powerful as someone quite sophisticated in a sense, but you could also do it a little bit more playfully, or you could do a version of it that's similar to the Glinda from Wicked. So I just feel like with Christian Bell, there are so many different potential ways you could go with the character. Similar to what you said about Renee, her in a big puffy ball gown, goddess material.
Oh, this is hard. This is hard because I think both of them are so good. But I'm slightly worried that Kristen's going to be too funny with it. I mean, I
Mm,
get that some of Glinda's lines are quite witty, but in the original Wizard of Oz, she's very subdued. She's very kind of calm, and it depends what way we want to go with the character. I guess I think that's the
true.
only way. It's the only way we can come to a decision because I think both of them will do very well, but for very different Glindas.
So I guess that just depends on what kind of Glinda we are looking for then.
I mean, I think if we're recasting the original, we should maybe go towards what's similar, but at the same time, I do have a little bit of changes to my characters down the line. So I don't know. I mean, I love Kristen Bell, but I don't know. Renee sticks in my head for some reason.
How about this? Because she was on my shortlist, let's go with Renee.
I definitely think Kristen Bell would do a great job, though, for sure. I don't hate that choice.
This is shaping up to be quite an interesting cast. I'm
I
very excited.
I love this cast so much.
I kind of wish this was a real thing now.
Same. I really want to do this.
Well, we can't talk about Glinda the Good Witch without talking about the Wicked Witch of the West, obviously. So, my Wicked Witch, I'm very happy with this choice, is Jenna Coleman.
Oh wow.
Now, I may be biased because she's from Blackpool, like me, because she's in Doctor Who, and that's my favourite show. But like the one thing I've always liked about Jenna as an actor is the fact that she's always gone for quality over quantity, and she's very versatile. I mean, her character in Doctor Who is very different to when she played Victoria.
Yes.
And I don't know, but have you seen The Serpent?
My parents have.
She played quite a cold character, but there was a lot of emotional struggle and there was some real depth to it. And so I would just love to see her on a bigger scale. So yeah, my Wicked Witch, Jenna Coleman. What about you?
My Wicked Witch is the phenomenal Eva Green. So
Ooh,
if you don't know who Eva Green is, she played Vesper in Casino Royale, which was Daniel Craig's first James Bond movie, and she also played Miss Peregrine in Tim Burton's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. She is such a good actress and she plays villainous so well. She's just amazing. I can just really picture her in the role and working very well opposite Renee. Just something about her I think would work really well. She just does villains to a T, and the Wicked Witch is right up her street. I mean, she would be my first choice for Elphaba if she could sing. I don't know if she can sing, and I don't know if she's a bit too old to play Elphaba in Wicked, but it just screams Wicked Witch, and I promise that I mean that in the best possible way. I'm not saying Eva Green is a witch. I think that she would excel in the role personally. God, this is difficult. This is way more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
I do love Ava Green because she's one of those actors who always does so well in her projects, but the projects have never fully taken off, which is a shame. Having said that, there's something about Jenna, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know. The only thing that's blocking me from Jenna is that she might be a bit too young. But I guess you could age her up if you wanted to. Oh, I guess we're going with Jenna then.
Well, you said it, so I'm gonna write it down.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy with that.
Though I do have to agree that Ava Green would make an incredible Wicked Witch, and I would be up for seeing that. Next up, Scarecrow.
My scarecrow, I am happy to announce, is Eddie Redmayne. Stay with me on this. Ed- no, stop. Eddie Redmayne is so bubbly and so springy and bouncy and fun. And he has musical theatre background, so he can sing, and he's tall, and he can dance, and he can act. And I just think that he exudes scarecrow energy. I don't know. He was my first choice and my only choice for the scarecrow. I literally haven't thought about anybody else. Not a fan?
I love Eddie Redmayne as an actor, and the points you've given, like, I don't think he would do a bad job by any means, but I did actually bring him up. I was like, oh, Eddie Redmayne, let's see if he could fit any of the characters. And in my eyes, he just doesn't fit, but never say never.
Who's your choice?
Anthony Ramos.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, you've got this point. You've got this point.
I'm just gonna write it down.
What a choice. Yeah, that's so good. Like, how did I not think about that? I mean, obviously, I think Eddie Redmayne as a scarecrow in my head makes so much sense, but I know that speaking it out loud, I'm not very good at conveying my example. I really wish that I could share to you the vision that I have of Eddie Redmayne as a scarecrow. But when you say Anthony Ramos as the scarecrow, I just instantly get hit.
Well, because my thing when it came to the Scarecrow and the Tin Man is I wanted to look for people that had some kind of dance background as well,
Yes, yeah.
because of the way they move is like very distinct and different.
Mm-hmm.
But then character wise, Anthony Ramos can sing, he can act, he can dance, he's funny. We all loved him in Hamilton.
We did.
He He was Lady Gaga's best friend in A Star Is Born, so we have to stan. Uh, I just, when I came to that conclusion of him as Scarecrow, I was sold.
Awesome. Well, I'm sold as well. I'll be more than happy putting him down as the Scarecrow.
Cool.
So, the next character we're going to be casting is the Tin Man. Who is your
So
choice?
my Tin Man is Darren Criss.
Oh, okay.
He's probably best known for his role as Blaine from Glee, but I believe he won an Emmy for his role in.
Gianni
Oh,
Versace?
there you go.
Yeah.
It completely escaped my mind then. So, you know, pretty talented actor. He's got a musical theatre background. He did Hedwig, loved him in Hedwig, and I mean we cannot not talk about a very Potter musical.
Oh, yes, his best credit by far.
Cool, obviously. Like nothing will ever stand up to that standard.
No, it won't. You're right.
And similar to my Scarecrow, I looked at people who had some kind of dance background, which he does, doing musical theatre. So yeah, Darren Criss.
Okay, so my choice, going on to another Hamilton actor,
Oh,
my choice for the Tin Man is Aaron Burr himself, Leslie Odom Jr.
I'm sold.
What? Just I don't need to argue. You just sold.
Yeah,
I really feel like I keep saying this a lot, and I know it's very obvious. I just feel like he would do this role really well. Like I think he really suits it. I think his voice is insane. In Hamilton, he conveys such emotion, and his performance in Hamilton is just staggering. And I think that he would give the Tin Man a little bit of heart. And yeah, I just think that his acting skills would just do the character justice and make us really feel for him as a character. So,
nah, I am sold. I love it.
so yeah, Leslie Odom Jr.
So I guess that moves us on to the Cowardly Lion. I've got a pretty out there cast, but I want to hear yours first.
I've got a pretty out there casting choice too.
Interesting.
And I need you to stay with me on this.
Okay.
Nicolas Cage?
Wow.
No, but picture this. Imagine Nicolas Cage singing If I Was the King of the Forest.
I
Isn't that
can't.
just an Oscar moment? That is an Oscar moment right there, waiting to happen.
I mean, I would pay good money to see that, I must admit.
Yeah, I just think that he has the comedic element to him. I think he has the wit. I think he has the craziness. He would just be so good in this role. He will body the lion. He will take it to places. He will be fully committed into playing the lion, and I will be all there for it. There's no more for me to say, really. I just really want Nicolas Cage to play the lion.
Okay. So it's Nicolas Cage versus now you've got to stay with me on this one as well.
Oh no. Okay.
Rebel Wilson as the Cowardly Lion.
Oh my god.
I know, it's genius, isn't it?
That is genius. I'm not gonna lie to you, that is genius.
I've always thought she was a really funny person. Her in the role of the Cowardly Lion would get the humor across, but it would also be interesting to see what she would do with the cowardly side of it. I think she could do incredibly well. And when I decided that I wanted Rebel Wilson, it was like any other options could not compare.
Mm, mm.
Because I am genuinely in love with the idea of her as the Cowardly Lion.
Okay. So my take for Nicolas Cage is that he will be truly unforgettable as the lion. Everyone will remember it for years to come. And I honestly think it could make or break his career, but in a really good way. I don't know. I just feel like it would be really iconic.
Does
And
does Nicolas Cage need another role to make his career?
yes, if it involves singing "If I Was the King of the Forest," then yes. I just think he'd look really good in the lion costume. I don't know. I can just see it. I can just see it in my head, in the forefront of my mind. I don't know whether to be scared or whether to just go for it for the laugh. And I think he'll go for it for the laugh.
My only concern with Nicolas Cage is I feel like the only way I can see him playing the Cowardly Lion is somewhat similar to the original, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't know if it's personally worth the risk. But having said that, Rebel Wilson could also be considered a risk. So
Yeah, I mean, it's different gender for one, which I'm all for. I really love that element. Well, obviously, she's a very funny woman and, you know, a very, very comedic actress, but I don't know if she'd be able to have that balance between being funny. I'm sure she'd do that very well, but when she's cowardly, I don't know whether that might whether she'd do that right. I don't know. Obviously, she's an actress, so you can just assume that she will be able to do that. But from all the performances I've seen, yes, she's very good at the funny part, but will she be able to do the part where you actually have to feel a bit sorry for the lion? I don't know.
mm,
It's so annoying that we don't have them both in front of us to audition.
if only.
I know. I think that if either one of these people got cast, I think they would rise to the challenge.
Definitely.
So, if we're going off on what we have in our heads and what we think they're capable of, now I'd be more than happy casting Rebel.
I mean, you say that, but I was literally just about to say the same thing, but for Nicolas Cage.
But like Nicholas, I don't know about Nicholas though because he's just in the forefront of my mind. Like I can't picture anybody else in the role. I'll be very happy with Rebel taking it, but I don't know. Nicholas just has it.
Well, the thing about this is when you said people will talk about Nicolas Cage's Lion, I agree, and not that people wouldn't talk about Rebel Wilson's Lion, but out of the two, I do think the most memorable one probably would be Nicolas Cage if done
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But my other point to that is, like the Cowardly Lion, well, out of the three, Scarecrow, Tin Man, Lion, he's always sort of the last in my head mind. It might just be for me personally,
Mhm.
and because because obviously the main focus for me has always really been Dorothy, the Wicked Witch, and then Scarecrow, really.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so saying that he's going to be a memorable lion, which I'm sure he would be, the lion isn't really a character that stands out, if that makes sense.
Mm. But he can make him stand out. That's the point.
But do we need him to stand out?
I'm pretty sure that we have a really good cast so far that will be memorable just as much. I mean, for me anyway, the entire cast of the Wizard of Oz 1939 version is very memorable to me because there's not that many of them. It's not that big of a cast, so I think
I'm
whoever
gonna
we cast is going to be remembered.
I'm gonna trust you and I'm going to side with you. But if the day comes and he does end up becoming Cowardly Lion and he does not meet up to the expectations you have set forward, I will happily say I told you so.
Okay, I'll put your word on that. Yeah. Okay, so the last role that we are going to cast today is the one and only wizard.
The man behind the curtain.
Oliver, I have been dying to know, who is your wizard?
Okay, so I singled down on two people, um, and I basically decided because I couldn't quite choose which one I wanted because I think both of them could do very good, interesting ways. But I decided, like, based on our cast list, who it's going to be, and I've decided that my wizard, Miranda Hart.
Oh, I actually don't know how to feel about that. Oh.
Yeah,
Okay, you say your argument and I'll see where I stand. I'll let
okay,
you talk.
so put any other form of Wizard of Ozness aside. No Wicked, no Oz the Great and Powerful, just purely the movie.
Okay.
I think Miranda as the wizard would be good because it could be quite a spectacle. I mean, the original wizard already, he's the man behind the curtain, the man of mystery, and he puts on a show and he lies. So my
Mm-hmm.
first thought was someone who's quite theatrical, who could very much play it up.
Mm-hmm.
Miranda can do serious. She was in Call the Midwife and it was very good. Obviously, she is better known for her comedic acting, well, being a comedian. So I do feel like she could bring some more of that. She could bring some groundedness to the wizard, but at the same time could ham it up when needed.
Yes, I
And
definitely agree that she could do that.
and imagine her wearing kind of like a dress suit
Mm-hmm.
with like the emerald green and like black on gold accents because she's quite tall. It will really. I feel like her height could also be quite a presence as well. I understand again with the fact that the wizard just being an ordinary man and just kind of small and not really noticeable is kind of a point to the original. But why
Mm-hmm.
not switch it around a little and make it more of like a powerful person who genuinely wants to do some good, but just isn't capable of doing that on their own. So they create this persona instead.
Okay, I like where this is going.
And for some reason, I can imagine her having kind of like slicked back hair, kind of like like when Dua Lipa had her short hair and she had it slicked back,
Oh yeah.
that kind of style of hair. Or you could go campy with it and properly dress it up like a proper musical film would. I'm very comfortable and confident in my choice because it opens up different doors, but in a way that doesn't take anything from another direction, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Miranda Hart, who's your wizard?
So I've gone a different direction with this and I've cast two. So I've cast the voice of the wizard, so the voice that he puts on, and then the actual fraud wizard.
Oh,
So the voice of the wizard probably comes as no surprise, but I kind of want it to be James Earl Jones.
yeah, I kind of figured the moment you said voice, I was like, I wonder
I mean, nothing to explain. He just has this almighty voice that just screams authority,
who. I mean,
and
he is the voice.
he is the voice. He is. And then I'm thinking for the fraud wizard, Donald Glover.
Okay.
Now this is different because obviously Donald Glover is much younger than Frank Morgan, who played the wizard in the 1939 version. But I had a sort of thing in my head that James Earl Jones's voice was the actual wizard, but he had since passed, and Donald Glover was maybe his grandson that was trying to take the helm, but just wasn't as powerful as he was. So he's pretending to be him so that he feels like he's still carrying on his legacy, but not as himself, obviously, because he's not as good as he was. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah,
And I kind of had this backstory for a couple of days, and I think that Don Glover would be able to portray that so well, because not only can he act serious, but he's a comedic actor as well. So I think he can have that balance of being quite kooky and clever, but also have no clue what the hell he's doing. And I just think he'd be able to portray that really well. Oh, what are your thoughts?
I do genuinely love that idea, but I love my vision for Miranda.
No, I love your vision for Miranda. It's just I'm kind of mixed because I know that Miranda Hart is a very good actress and she has more than enough times proven herself to be a good actress and not just for comedic roles. But I don't know, she doesn't scream wizard to me. I definitely see where you're coming from, and I'm sure with costume and all that sort of stuff, I'll be able to be like, okay, yeah, fair enough. But I'm not visualizing her as the wizard. But I don't know why, because the way you explain it, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, it's probably this. It's my Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's probably clearer in your head than it is in mine, which is so annoying. Because I want to know what that world's like.
I think the other thing is I feel like the wizard character can be such a storyteller character,
Mm,
and it's probably just because of her TV show, but
yeah,
it was such a storytelling show
yeah.
because like the different things that happened were based off things in her real life. It really has just gotten harder and harder as we went on, hasn't it?
It has. Like, I did not expect it to be this difficult to choose. Because we've both come up with some really good ideas here.
I honestly thought it would be Dorothy and the Witch that would be the hardest.
Yeah, same. You know what? I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna trust you on Miranda. Let's do it.
But I do quite like the idea of James Earl Jones as the voice.
Okay, so if we cast James Earl Jones as the voice and then have Miranda as the fraud, that kind of gels two together, doesn't it? Because not only
Yeah.
does it, avert expectations because you're expecting it to be a man. Yeah, I quite like that actually.
But I do have to say, your idea with Donald Glover is really good, and that would be quite an interesting thing to play out. That's quite a cast list we've got.
We've got an amazing cast list, but of course we can't forget the main character Toto. We
Oh,
can't forget Toto.
of course.
I think I'm gonna cast your dog as Toto.
My puppy,
Your puppy.
my new puppy that I got a couple weeks ago. I mean, I'm happy.
Yes, well we'll have Bear as Toto.
My claim to fame.
So Oliver, would you like to read out our final cast list of 2021's The Wizard of Oz?
Would I ever? Okay, so taking the lead role of Dorothy, Sadie Sink. Then we've got Glenn Close as Auntie M. Glinda the Good Witch, Renee Zellweger. And the Wicked Witch of the West, Jenna Coleman. Our Scarecrow is Anthony Ramos. Tin Man, Leslie Odom Jr. We love a little Hamilton double action. The Cowardly Lion, Nicolas Cage. Our wizard, the voice, James Earl Jones, the fraud, Miranda Hart, and Toto, my new puppy bear.
I think that is a god tier cast list if there ever was one.
Nothing can touch our cast list. Nothing.
Nothing at all. Oh my goodness. This is such a good cast.
Oh, this has been so much fun. I want to recast more movies.
Same. If you guys have any ideas on which movie we should recast that hasn't been done yet, which I know will be very difficult because pretty much every single film has been remade, then please comment below on our Facebook and just tell us if you have any ideas because we would love to do these sorts of episodes again. It's been a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, but I've had fun.
Me too. It's definitely been. It feels very rewarding. This.
It does. It
I
does.
think.
And honestly, I think that this movie could work.
I really wish it was a real thing now.
Same. But nothing
Well,
can top the original.
I mean, if it wasn't for the original, we wouldn't be here today.
Exactly. So, if you love what you heard, then please listen to all of our other episodes. Obviously, this is the 21st one, so you have 20 other episodes to listen to. God help you. Please like our Facebook page, and we are on every podcasting platforms that you can think of, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Breaker, Radio Public, Anchor, and we've also got a YouTube channel, so you can subscribe to us on that as well.
I was going to say, let us know what you think of the episode, but I feel like it's
Twice is
going to.
fine. Twice is
Yeah.
fine.
Please let us know what you think of the episode. And as Lucy said, any suggestions for movies you would like us to recast, old and new, whether it came out 100 years ago or it came out yesterday, we're happy to have a go.
Until then, we will both see you next week.
Bye.